Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Paint Party Livestream. I'm so glad to be back in studio with you again this week. I missed last week because I was out of town traveling with family, but it's so great to be back in the studio. I hope you had a great couple of weeks, and I'm excited about the painting we're going to do this evening. We are also in the ramp up to a kind of what seems to be maybe a major blizzard in our neck of the woods. So, yeah, that may be happening, but it hasn't started yet. We are in the calm before the storm, probably this evening into all day tomorrow. But they're predicting 1 to 2 feet of snow. I knew we had a problem when they switched over from inches, when they were like, 8 to 10 inches, 8 to 12 inches, and then we switched to feet. And and we should get some pretty severe winds or some strong winds, about 40 miles an hour. So I am hunkered down for at least a day, maybe a day and a half here in this area, or not in this area, in my apartment. So but that's winter in the mountains. That's that's our payback for beautiful weather 90% of the rest of the year. But all right, so let's get started this evening. Last week, 2 weeks ago, I worked on this painting of the 2 hummingbirds. I have not yet finished it. I want to do some more detail work and kind of brighten up the colors on these birds, but I'm really happy with how this turned out with what we did on it. So we're going to use the same technique that we did last time, and I'll explain that a little bit as we go. Last time I explained that I wanted to work on, or one of the things I wanted to work on developing more competence with was composition of my paintings. And so in order to do that, I'm adopting a graph or a layout over my reference photos as I construct the paintings that I want to make to hopefully dramatically improve the quality and the and just the general visual pleasantness of the painting. So that's what we're going to focus on again tonight. I'm trying to remember all the things that I usually do. This live stream is, sorry, I'm just kind of running crazy. This live stream is laid back. You can pop in, pop out whenever you'd like. It is kind of like an open house, as I say every week. You're welcome to participate also in the comments wherever you're watching me. You can comment on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you are. And I love to engage with you on the comments. So feel free to ask questions or make comments as we go through this evening. All right, I'm going to switch over to this camera and then get everything set for you. So let me pop over here. Ooh, that's a little blurry. Let me see if I can focus. Oh, I apologize for that. I don't know why it is blurry. We will get that. Hey Lola, it's so good to see you. Glad to have you. Welcome, welcome. See a few more people popping in. So glad to have you on the live stream. Maybe if I stay really close. Oh, there it caught up. Technology is great unless it doesn't work. All right. So what we're going to do tonight is this reference. I'm going to work off this reference. I'm going to put it up here in the corner. I'm going to move this over and enlarge it a little bit. I love the color balance of this reference photo. I love the feeling. It's very pastoral. It reminds me of some of the 1800s American art that was produced 1800s, very pastoral, sweeping landscapes. I don't know exactly where this reference photo is, but I want to capture the feeling that's in the reference photo. On the left-hand side of the reference photo, you'll see the two, one with the red graph or kind of grid across it. This is a modification of the rule of thirds, or the thirds ratio, the ratio of thirds, also the golden ratio. It takes into account many of those optimal ratios. And so you can quickly see, I have not adjusted this at all. I just put the grid right over the reference photo. You can quickly see why this photo is so appealing already to our eyes. The hill in the background kind of slopes along the center line. You also see that there is a wire fence, a barbed wire fence that goes kind of along the diagonal up to the center line. And that's something I want to emphasize. Actually, I'm going to adjust some things in the reference or in the painting from the reference photo, and I'll explain those as I go. Notice the tree on the right-hand side that's coming in from the side. It is right along that diagonal guideline as well. Let's see what else is working along. Oh, the hill and where it comes down into the horizon line and goes away from the horizon line in the foreground, kind of that block of trees and land is a dark section or a dark kind of land mass, and that fits kind of in that triangular. I wish I had something I could draw on the screen to show you exactly what I'm referencing, but it fits in there. So a lot of things working for this reference. So that's what we'll get started. I'm going to switch my camera, my phone camera over here, and I am going to flip this around and pull this back a little bit so that you can see the entire canvas. And I'll just lower it a little bit there, and we'll try to get started. You will be able to see on, here we go, back to there. So you'll see that I painted a very light graph. I don't know if this is going to work. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put my apron on, so I'll do that while I'm yammering. And we will, I don't know if it will, I didn't want to do a black paint marker because I felt it may be too difficult to cover up. The last painting we did with the hummingbirds, I could do the black because it was a black background, and the hummingbirds themselves are fairly dark. This time I didn't think I could do that, so I chose to just do the lighter grid. So we'll see how that works. I think I will have to eventually tone my canvas ahead of time and then do the lighter grid if I want to do this, because now I'm going to come in with some darker brown paints, and it's going to cover up those grids. So we'll just try to do the best we can. All of this is a learning process, adapting a new kind of technique or a new style or a new subject. Everything for me is an opportunity to learn. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in. I've put some raw sienna, some yellow ochre, and some burnt sienna right here. And we're going to come in and start putting in some of our compositional. Hey Tanitris, so good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. This is my weekly live stream. It's kind of open house, so just pop in, stay as long or as short a time as you have, or as long as you'd like, and see what I'm learning this week. So, all right, so we are going to put in some composition. Now, the first thing I want to do, I am going to take this tree out of the composition, the tree on this side, because I want to emphasize the foliage that's in the shadow here and the fence line that goes towards the horizon. So I really want this to be bright light, and the sunlight, I want to really emphasize that on the clouds here. So the sun is going to come from the same direction, but I'm going to take out that tree because it blocks kind of what is happening good compositionally. And then I'm going to have the light background, and then my trees come in here. And I think I'm going to take this dark tree branch that comes in, and I'm going to keep this foreground lighter, but we will see how that all plays out. I'll have to use a lot of imagination to do that. So let's start just seeing where we go. I'm going to start with the brighter spots. Oh, that's pretty thick. The brighter spots of this, and just putting composition in. So these are the brighter spots of the painting. And I'm going to come all the way over here, and we're going to bring this forward. So again, feel free to ask questions, make comments in the comment. So glad to have you. Those of you that are joining just now, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you. And I'm using a rather large brush so that I can avoid putting too much detail in at first. All right, and we'll try to play this values game, because if we get the values right, so much more goes well, correct? My friend does grid painting in squares. He paints all the stuff in each square. Yes, I have seen that. And that's a really great method for keeping proportions correct, especially if you're doing something like buildings or that type of work where you have, you want your proportions and all of your thing to be proportional, and especially if you're using really large, canvases, that makes a lot of sense, Lola. Okay, I am going a little crazy here. I want to pay attention to what I'm doing as I paint over the grid. So I'm mixing a little white to diffuse this because I want to come in here and put in sky reflection. I want this to be really bright over here. So we'll put kind of yellow in there. I'm giving the suggestions of clouds because then we'll come over here and we'll put the color around them. Okay. Yeah, to Lola, to your point, I'm going to experiment with a variety of different techniques over the next several months because I really do want to be more focused in improving my painting. Up until now, there's been so much that I didn't know and that I didn't know I didn't know. Hey there, welcome. It's been a while since since you've joined on the live stream. I'll call you Tomato or whatever. Yeah, watching the paint dry literally when you want it to dry quickly, it doesn't, and then when you don't, it does. So yes, but I'm glad that you enjoy this. That makes me happy. All right, let's come in, and what I'm going to do here is put in some dark want to come so the center line is right there, and at the center is where we start to see this. So I'll just put this in. So what's cool about this is we have the light, again compositionally, we have the light, contrast, and one of the highest points of contrast, because we're taking this tree out, remember, on the left side. So the highest point of contrast will be kind of right at the center of the painting. And so I'll probably actually de-emphasize some of this and make a lot of contrast there as we move away. But that is, yeah, that is why also this reference photo works. All right. Down here is where we start seeing the dark. This will be we'll have kind of a fence post there. And we'll bring this up a little bit so we can do some again, I want to emphasize this. We can put more grass and things here, but basically right now I'm just painting. I'm painting, move that back a little bit so you can see blocks of value blocks. So this is shadow basically to shadow over here. And I actually want I'll put in some basically come this way. So I'm taking out this tree here, so this will be more meadow. And then over here, we'll put in these. This will all be bushes and foliage, but it'll be kind of shadow land. So we'll put shadows. That way, this will, and also compositionally, we'll have kind of an S shape that will draw us in. And then I may put this tree that is coming in off the side, I may put that like as a standalone tree, but I'm not sure. No, I think I need to bring it in. Anyway. But then the sunlight will be off canvas over here, but it'll be very bright here. So it'll draw us into whatever. Draw us into the painting more. Hope that makes sense, because I'm figuring it out as I go as far as the adjustments I want to make. I mean, I have it in my head, like what I want to make. And again, the reason for basically using a fairly monochromatic style or underlayer is just to focus on getting the value placement right. Where are lights and shadows, and then go from there. So we want this post about right there. So I want to keep that. Oh, I lost my image. I'm so sorry. Text came in, and it blocked my phone. I didn't realize that happened. That must be. Then I'm going to take some of this to establish here. We have some darks along this line, this ground line. We have some darks in the foliage there. So I want to emphasize that as we go. And that lets us know we're here in the darks, in the shadows, close. It gives us a sense of what's going on there. So we'll keep developing that, but you can start to kind of see what I mean and what's going on. So we'll take a little bit of this now, and we'll combine some of the darks with the lights, because we'll want this is probably too dark, so we'll lighten it up a little bit, because we want but it really makes you think about I mean, when we get done, this will be grass, and so it'll have some cooler tones in it, but it makes you think about how you are going to articulate those when you just have a very few colors to do. That makes sense. I'm going to put kind of a shadow under here. Have trees kind of in the background. Then we'll get more diffused back there. There, now we start to see some the one lady I watch paint calls it painting the dirt. Painting the dirt, I like that. Yeah, but it's like the dirt, it's foundation, and if you get it, again, if you get it correct, it works. So you can kind of see what I'm doing. The more I do this, the more better I get, the better I get. This is, I said I wanted to emphasize, so I'm going to emphasize this, the contrast in this sky. Notice how just with the values, it's such a more dramatic sky than the, and a dramatic, much more dramatic sunset than the reference photo. So that shows you how powerful this, like, getting your values correct is. And I am just creating, again, opportunities for contrast that will make this all work together. Now the challenge is going to be, how do I transfer this to begin to put colors in and keep the same values? That's going to be a challenge for us, isn't it? Yes, it is. I'll have to adjust this. I'm not totally happy with what's happening here, but it's kind of coming in the right direction. You can at least see contrast. You can see some, this is way too yellow now, but you can see what's happening. I'm pretty happy with the sky though. I like this. I like where we're going. Okay, we are half an hour in. We have the, looks like a lake of gold. Yes. Rolling amber waves of green. Isn't that what we say? So, all right, I think what I want to do now is first step back, take a look at this, take a reference photo or a progress photo, a work in progress photo. And then I think I want to just refine this a little bit. I think we can like lay in the sky pretty like quickly, not quickly, but this values are correct or pretty good. So I think we can go there. But I think I want to go to the dark side. So I want to get in, establish the darks that I want. So I'm going to put some ultramarine blue and some, quite a bit of raw umber apparently. And we'll see if it's mostly dry. Okay, so we want to start putting in the darkest shadow areas. So let's see if we can mix some of our darkest dark area. What is going to be our darkest dark area? Where's the shadows going to be? Are the shadows going to be the greatest, where they're almost black? Right? That's where we want to go. And I'm going to try to do this with a bigger brush. But, okay. I like the shapes I have going here, so I think I'm going to continue this. Again, I'm just drawing the darkest shadows. And this will help me to grade other shadow areas. Okay. Those are pretty dark. And I think I want to put some dark shadows like the reference photo has down here. So let's put those in. Again, this will help us then judge the rest of the paint, the values of what we put in later. Because if we get too dark, then we see that we've gone over our darkest spot. So here I want to let's see, then over here we want Okay. Actually, I want it pretty dark down in here. All right. We have our darks in. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this tree up here, so it may be enough just the contrast in the clouds if I adjust that. So I may just do that. We'll see. Let's first do, where is my blue? There's my blue, blue, blue. Cerulean blue. And, yeah. So let's do a little bit of sky. Whoa, that's a lot of blue. Lot of blue. Lot of blue. Okay. I really like the feel of this where this is going, so I'm actually going to mix some of this medium. I like the style of this, so I think I want to just, but I want the blue to be most saturated there. Now, okay, so let's start adding some blue and see what happens. Let's go in here. Well, we have some showing through up here. So let's just put some of that in there. we're getting, so isn't that cool, y'all, how that starts to, there is no detail in there. I don't know if I can zoom this in, or I think I can zoom it in. Yeah, I can zoom in a little bit so you can see on the sky. Let me try to zoom in just on the sky. I mean, there is no detail. It's just brush strokes. It's all the values, getting the values right. I know I preach it all the time, but it's so true. If you get values right, almost everything else falls into place. Okay, let's continue. So we want to continue with our brightest brights. So I think I actually want to work on some of these clouds. Let's see. I'm not sure exactly what to do with these clouds, so I'm shooting in the dark a bit. So let's just play around and see what happens. When I get the right, so I want kind of a gray color that can be the shadow. That's what I'm mixing down here. See next to the blue how gray it is? But I've put a little bit of the raw sienna in it, so it is a little bit red. But let's see what it looks like up here next to the This is shadow for the clouds. Basically, as Lola says, we're painting the dirt so that we have something to contrast against. What this will do is it will give us a good contrast to create lights around that way. The shadow, because the light is coming from the sun set, the shadow actually appears on the top of the clouds because the bottom of the cloud is what's reflecting down. Does that make sense? I know it does. But I'm just pointing it out, not to be obtuse, but it helps then to doing all these layers then gives us good texture in the sky as well. So we'll just keep, as it dries, we'll do, if we need to do more, we'll do more. I'm constantly checking in, or trying to. Where is the contrast? Too much or not enough? We'll take a light down here. Now we're bringing some more over here. We're bringing more of the red in. So we'll see how that works. If it's too much or if it's just enough. I just think it's so entertaining. Hey, Bob G, welcome, welcome. Yes, it is a beautiful reference. I think it's so funny, not funny, I think it's entertaining that when I started, clouds were so frustrating to me. And they can be still, but I'm infinitely better with clouds now than I was 2 years ago. And it's kind of just insane to me. But I would have to say that 90% of it is just from getting value balances correct or as correct as possible. Okay, now there is just a All right, now I don't want to dilute this too much because I don't want to take it too bright or too light too quickly, because I want to be able to take this somewhere. Meaning, I want to be able to take it brighter. If I go, it's really easy, it's easy to get excited and brighten everything, and then you lose the power of the contrast. So I want to retain that. All right, so you can kind of see where we're going with this. And I'll keep working this a little bit at a time. Again, it's all about the contrast. All about the contrast. Okay, I'm going to quit over painting the sky, but I do want to keep my bright, bright, bright. I want to keep that in mind, so I'm going to reestablish my brightest bright as my basically white and little yellow ochre. Probably do cad yellow. Well, we'll see. So I want to come in here again and establish this is my lightest light. Right in there. Okay. I said I'm going to stop, I'm going to stop. I'm going to step back, take a picture. All right, we're an hour in. Let's see what we can do then in the background foreground here. I'm pleased with the direction the sky is going. What do you all think? It needs some more color to pop, but I think I like where it's going. So now I think I want to play in the background a little bit and put a little sap green on my palette here in the corner right there. Sap green's that right down in the right hand corner here. And let's see if I can do some, I want really diluted color for the far background. as I know I've said this before, but as colors, as objects go into the distance, colors drop out of our perceivable spectrum. Humans, that's why things look like they're in the distance. And so you'll have your reds and greens fall out. So let's see what we can do with this. We can I don't know if it's too similar. It may be too similar to the sky color. I think it is. So what we need to do, I think, is add a little bit more brown tone. So let's try this. See? Still pretty. See. Then as we come forward, we'll mix a little more red into it. Again, the word tonight is balance. So we'll redden it up. And we'll put in this area. Then as we come forward, we mix a little more some green in. This is almost, feels peppermint green to me. So let's put some, let's darken it just a tad. Some blue and brown with it. See as we come forward if we can. I would put some wider highlights here and there. Yes, I do plan to do that. I am just struggling, not struggling, but yes, I'm challenged to maintain the proper value balance. So I'm working very hard to not go too light. So that is something I absolutely plan to do, Lola. But I kind of want to wait as far into the process as possible so that I can control it and hopefully not overpaint. Because I started to do that. I don't know if you noticed that in the sky. Started to go light, 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 because it looks really cool when you get the contrast correct. And then I was like, oh, now I need to back off because the contrast isn't working anymore. And so that's what I'm trying to avoid, if that makes any sense at all. All right. That makes me happy. I've just learned so much that, yeah, just makes me happy to, especially when I realize how much I still have to learn. And I feel like, okay, I've accomplished a lot, and I'm excited about being able to do even more. Then we just take a little bit of this. I'm getting too much in the details now. But I can't help myself, and I'll probably regret it, but okay, that makes me really happy, y'all. This right here just makes me happy. Although, gonna go in and add some, because it's just dark, but add some texture there. And it may brighten, yep, it brought it too far forward. Okay, so we're gonna clean the brush. We're gonna send some of these back. Okay, let's see if we can. have about half an hour left to work on this. Let's see. Oops. Okay. Ew, this is gross. It's too. By increasing the saturation a little bit, we can still put things out in the distance, but we can give the illusion that there are different types of plants going on in this field. which is what I want because I'm making this up from my, from imagination, because there's a tree there, or there was, that I took out. So this gives us the feeling that there's definitely a hill that kind of comes down here, like right through there, but we can play these variations off each other. As we come forward, we get more saturated, meaning we get more of the color, which in this case is green. But I still want it to read like it's in the shadows, so I want this fairly nondescript. I messed that up. That's all right. few little details. All right, we have about 2 minutes left, so let's see what else we can do. Let's just this. That out a little bit. Just with what's on the palette. All right, I'm sort of pleased where this one's going. I want to do some refinement, but based on the reference photo we had, I think we're doing really well. Took out this tree here because I want the focus to be on the sunset. So I just need to put some more definition there, some brighter contrast, do a little bit more detail work here, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let me bring this. I'm going to do something a little bit different. Excuse my shaky hand. I'm just going to bring you in so you can kind of see how little detail there is in the sky and even in the background. But it doesn't take much once you step back from it. Pretty loose mark making. And let's step back. And when we step back, look at that. All right. I am going to not make you sick anymore. Thank you so much. That's so kind. I am pleased with where it's coming or where it's going. I'm hopefully going to have a little more time in the studio, or I'm going to make more time in the studio. Sorry, I'm off camera a little bit. There, I'll step back. I'm going to make some more time in the studio to finish up a few of these paintings. I still have the Mont Saint-Michel, which is the big painting. I'm talking to you like you're over here. So let's switch back to here. And let's flip that. There we go. Now we're right. All right, so I have Mont Saint-Michel to finish up, but that's going to take just some detail work because I have to detail all the buildings on the island and then refine it. But I'm not in a rush to get that done because that's something I'm going to hang in my house. So I want to really get it as good as I can get it at this level. But I am really, really kind of pleased. I wasn't sure how this one would be just because of the but I think I'm kind of capturing the feeling I want to capture. I wanted it to be really pastoral, really, just really like you came around the bend in the road and there was this beautiful meadow or field out in front of you. So I think I'm capturing that. All right, next week is the week before Christmas, I believe. So let's see, today's the 12th, so it would be the 18th. So I will see you Monday the 18th. I think that's right. No, 7 days. 19th. I will see you Monday the 19th for one more paint party well, we'll see if we do the day after Christmas. I'm not sure if we will. It may be the final paint party of the year, but we'll just kind of see how that goes. But I will keep you posted. But otherwise, we will plan on seeing you the 19th. Hope you have a great week. I'm going to stay hunkered down for the next day and a half and try to avoid, well, I'm going to get snowed in, but going to try to stay warm. So I think that's it. If you'd like to see progress photos, you can always check those out on Instagram and my Instagram stories before I post those. So I will see you next week and have a great one. Yeah, that's all.